So that kind of feeds into your mantra, which is I wrote it down: cook like you love somebody.
Amen. That's my next
that's
tattoo.
What your dad did. That's what your dad did.
That's what my dad does. Everyone in my family. Food is just, and even with selecting people on my team, the first thing that I ask for is for you to care about people. I don't care, if you have the best cooking skills, the best techniques, whatnot. For me, it's first service, being able to care for somebody. And if you care for somebody, you can care enough to make sure that they're eating well.
If there was anybody in the world that you could cook for, who would you love to experience that?
Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Jay-Z,
cool.
yes.
Okay, Jay-Z, if you're watching.
Yes, Jigga Man.
Yeah, he watches all our videos.
Yeah,
Exactly,
I'm sure he
that's
does. Yeah, this one is going to be the
right.
one though for him. But
Yeah.
I'm an artist at heart. I wanted to be a musician. I was a better chef than I was a musician. But I love
But it's
creating.
all creating.
You
Yeah, I
know,
was
I
gonna say
love
it's all
creating.
creating.
Like I love the art. That's really what I am, an artist.
Yeah.
So to be able to combine food with our setup, with our style, it just makes it a whole experience.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my goals is to be able to show people, okay, you don't necessarily have to come from this particular background to be able to be a great chef. As long as you have the discipline, the passion to do it, anybody can do it. You just have to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
Welcome to The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. And we have another great guest. I'm Alan Williams, and this is my partner.
Yes, Susie Lafredo.
How are you today, Susie?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm so excited about the amazing guests that we have today.
You know what? We do have some great guests,
We
and this is
do.
no different.
Yes.
We have with us today Chef Kaius Austin Bay. You might know his business as the Chef Kaius Experience.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Man, we are
So-
excited to have you here
We
today.
are. Oh my gosh, your food, I cannot say enough good things.
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So Chef Kaius does catering, does private dinners, and it's amazing. We actually did it a couple of years ago for Beverly's 60th birthday.
21st birthday?
21st
Yeah,
birthday.
20,
Thank you for saving me.
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Good catch.
For her birthday party, we had Chef Kaius come out and his team, an amazing team.
Thank you.
We were laughing about this earlier. You enter a lot of contests,
Yes,
and
sir.
and you win almost everything.
Yes,
you
sir.
have won so many.
So true.
Cooking contest.
So true.
Yes.
And the cool thing about it is that a lot of times it's people's choice that you win.
Absolutely.
Which, that says a lot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what really counts.
So I always say, we do this for the people.
Yeah.
And so when the people can understand the flavors that we're trying to deliver, that means more than anything to me. So we appreciate people understanding what we're trying to do.
I love
That's
that.
so cool.
So did you always know that you wanted to cook?
No, I actually wanted to be a musician.
Really?
Yeah, I went to school for music production a little bit. Prior to that, I went to school for accounting. Because straight out of high school, I told one of my friends' stepdad that I wanted to be a musician. He said, "Oh, that's great. I know a lot of starving musicians." He said, "What you do?" Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, "What you do is you go to school for accounting, and then on the off season you go do your little whatever fun you want to
Sure.
do." And so that's what I did, and I was terrible at school.
Yeah.
So dropped out, then went to school directly for music production, and found out you still got to do some accounting and math and science
still gotta know
before
what to do.
that. So
Before you can actually get to what you want. Yeah.
yeah, so from there, just a troubled child in Alabama. We had the opportunity. My uncle, who lives in San Antonio, extended an invitation to come to San Antonio to help out with his wife and around the house and things like that. My dad said, "Hey, this is your opportunity to get out of Alabama. Go fly." And that was about 13 years ago, and
Wow.
been here ever since.
Been here
Oh,
ever
I love
since.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so growing up in Alabama, what city in Alabama were you in?
Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the capital
My
city.
father-in-law is from Montgomery.
Okay.
Or he was. He's,
Okay.
Yeah, gone. So brothers and sisters?
2 brothers, and we've adopted a ton of children after that. So my dad's a pastor, my mom's a teacher, so community, we've always just been around people and adopting kids and whatnot. My younger brother who we adopted is actually at home right now here in San Antonio. I moved him out here, and he's
good.
also a part of the business now.
that's
So you might have
so
seen him, Gabe.
Uh-huh.
He's a little knucklehead, but we're trying to get him together as well. But
learning.
yeah, he's learning.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. So a lot of brothers and sisters. Do you go
ton of
back home
family.
much?
I try to go at least once a year, twice a year.
Yeah.
The thing about
and you go back and there's people there you don't even know.
there's always people. My dad is, like I say, he's huge in the community, so he knows he got the mayor and the governor all on his speed dial. So
Yeah, right.
he does a lot of great things for the community, and he's always trying to show off his kids and whatnot. So it's good to kind of be in a place now where I feel like I'm finally making them proud. I'm doing something that they want to show off. So that's a great feeling.
So was there cooking in your home? I mean, was that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my story is, my dad being a pastor. Me and my dad are like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's my best friend, and he'll be writing his sermons 3:00 in the morning, Sunday morning. And I've always been a healthy kid, so I'll wake up, Dad, I'm hungry, and he'll say, "What do you want, kiddo? You want some cheese grits? You want a Spam and egg sandwich? Like, what do you want?"
Mm-hmm.
And the cheese grits were like always the thing, and just the way that he took,
Yeah. How cool is that?
it was amazing, and it's the way that he would take his time, stop what he was doing to cater to me. His mother and him, my dad had 12 brothers and sisters, and so the only time he got a chance to spend with his mother was in the kitchen. So that was their love language, and food became me and my dad's love language as well. And so I'm just able to share that love language. But yeah, my mom's an excellent cook as well. My older brother, he's a great cook. He likes to think that I'm the reason he's the reason why I'm a good chef. He likes to take the credit for that. But we have cooking throughout the entire family.
I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah. So growing up, if you weren't sure you were going to end up in the culinary industry, you didn't go to school like a lot of the chefs did.
No, I did not. I know that this is a gift. This is completely God-given just because of how it came on me. Like I said, I wanted to be a musician, but what I didn't realize was food and service was something that I always was in from a child. Sunday school, my dad would cook breakfast for the children after Sunday school. My mom would invite students over who didn't have family in Montgomery to come have dinner with us. And I'm seeing this, but I'm not registering that, okay, this is actually, what God is calling me to do. So it wasn't until one day I was my first restaurant job, I was a server. And I left the restaurant to go on my break, went to Freebirds, and I walked in. I was having a bad day, but I walked in, I heard the music, I saw the art everywhere, and the aromas in the restaurants, it was just, uplifting my spirit. And I end up eating there and just taken back by a burrito. And hindsight, it really had nothing to do with the burrito. It was just the fact that I was able to be in a different environment that uplifted my spirit through food. And that's when I realized, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be able to change people's whole life perspective with the gift of food.
That is so cool.
That's when I realized, okay, this is what I need to be doing.
So that kind of feeds into your mantra, which is, I wrote it down: cook like you love somebody.
Amen. That's my next
that's
tattoo.
What your dad did. That's what your dad did.
That's what my dad does. Everyone in my family, food is just, and even with selecting people on my team, the first thing that I ask for is for you to care about people. I don't care, if you have the best cooking skills, the best techniques, whatnot. For me, it's first service, being able to care for somebody. And if you care for somebody, you can care enough to make sure that they're eating well. You know what I'm saying? That they're being taken care of. And that's just kind of my ideology with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. I mean, that's I think that is why somebody should do what they do.
Yeah. Right.
To have that passion.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
When you had that experience at Freebirds, that was here in San Antonio?
Yeah, here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what did you do when you decided that's where you wanted to go? What was your first restaurant job after that?
So I stayed and it's funny you say that, Alan. Just from there, I actually worked that whole strip. It was Alamo Ranch. So I worked that was the old Logan Steakhouse. Then I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. And I worked at Olive Garden. And I worked at BJ's. So if you know that whole strip, they're literally aligned. And so even after that, this is just kind of like the introduction of me wanting to be a chef. But there was a moment as well where I was heading home to Montgomery on the Megabus. I don't know if you all are familiar with the Megabus.
I never rode it, but I see it on the highway.
Good for you. That is a trip in itself.
Yeah.
But I met this gentleman on the way back to San Antonio, we stopped in New Orleans, and we were sitting on the curb, and this guy was just sitting next to me, and just randomly he was like, "Hey, so what do you want to do with your life?" And I was like,
Wow.
"That's a little deep, man. I don't really know you, but I want to be a chef." He was like, "Oh, you want to be a chef? Well, let me see your Instagram. Let me see your social media." And at the time, I think I might have been like 22, 23, being childish, playing around. Got videos of me at the parties, at the clubs and whatnot. And then, there's a food video. And then there's me partying again. Oh, there's a picture of food. And he looked at my feed and he said, "Hey, if you really want to be a chef, why not live your life like a chef?" And then at that moment, that was another...
This is definitely God-led.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Exactly. This random guy that, I'm on the mega bus. Like, what are the chances I meet an angel?
I want a guy like that to say.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it was at that moment where I literally changed my name to Chef Kaius without any culinary training, without even ever working in the kitchen at a restaurant. I was always a server, never even worked in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew that, okay, if I wanted to really be a chef, from here on out, I'm only going to post food videos, food pictures, and whatnot. And so every restaurant I worked at, Alan, I worked at Paisano's, Fleming's, Yard House, all over San Antonio. I was a student. Mm-hmm. I'm just learning plating. I'm learning different combinations of flavors. And no knock to any other restaurants. I do feel like I cook better in some places, but there were still things that I could learn, like, for instance, plating and different techniques and whatnot. Yeah. So I'll take that knowledge and go home and just practice on dishes and whatnot while still, working my serving job. Mm-hmm, so
the one thing I've noticed, at least I think for me, that I see people that did go to culinary school is the science behind it. Mm-hmm. To understand that, oh, if you cook this at this temperature for this long, it's going to completely change the chemistry of that item, and it's going to become this.
Right.
I don't know that.
Right.
I just know I just can read the directions, but I need to know that. But you've kind of figured that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. Like I said,
but there's always learning.
There's always learning. And, no knock to culinary students because, that's still a dedication, a type of discipline to be able to, withstand all the lessons and whatnot. And sometimes it's a while before they can even get to cooking, that they have to, withstand the different lessons and scenarios before they even get in the kitchen. So, but just for me, like I said, it's been a God gift. Like, he's been able to put me in different paths that kind of help me tune up my skills, if you will. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm a student. I didn't go to culinary school, but that doesn't mean that I don't study.
Yeah,
I do a lot of studying. Like, we've won paella competitions. I've never been to Spain. We've won margarita competitions. I barely ever bartending, but this is just me studying things prior to,
just being a sponge.
Being a sponge, absolutely. So that's just kind of how
So would you say that growing up in Alabama helped create your culinary style and flavors?
I'll say Alabama taught me the service, the hospitality part. But San Antonio, I actually attribute to my style, to the flavors. Mm-hmm. I never even ate tomatoes or avocado until I moved to San Antonio.
Wow.
So, being exposed to flavors and believe it or not, Mexican food and soul food have a lot of similarities. I find similarities in all types of cuisine because at the root of it, a lot of these cuisines are being brought up from places of hardship. So not having many resources to be able to cook the highest quality ingredients, grandma in the kitchen putting all her time and labor into dishes to feed the family.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. And a lot of cultures, that's how they all grow up.
Yep.
So once you can find the similarities, that's when you can find the connection with the food. And that's when I'm able to say I'm from Alabama, but I can come cook for somebody from anywhere around the world just because I'm making that connection. I'm loving what I'm doing.
Right.
And you're tasting it and you're saying, man, this tastes like grandma's cooking. Well, it's because I'm putting the love into it. And that's how we try to make the connection with the food. So
that's cool.
Okay. And so with the Chef Kaius Experience, and I want to get into that because that's really cool. But with Chef Kaius Experience, if somebody calls you, are you open to making whatever they want, or do you have set? This is what our menu is.
Yeah, so we always tell people that we're well versed. We have different people on the team that are knowledgeable on different types of cuisine for that reason. And so if I can't do it, I'll certainly consult somebody on my team that I trust to be able to produce the cuisine. But we're doing a European theme wedding in spring. I've never been to Europe, but I
You'll
can
make
figure
it
some
happen.
things
That's
out.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we're not limited on the things that we'll do. We say we don't cook soul food. We cook food from the soul. So it doesn't matter whatever you're asking for us to prepare. Just know we're going to put our heart and soul into it to make sure it's delicious.
So kind of rolling back a little bit. So you meet this guy on the bus. He says, act like a chef, be a chef. And so you change your name. You know, you decide, okay, Chef Kaius. So when was it from there that you decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take this leap and I'm gonna start the Chef Kaius Experience and start this catering business? And
so that's a great question. That actually happened when I was 22 years old.
Wow.
The Chef Kaius Experience, and I'm 33, so that's 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Chef Kaius Experience didn't happen until during COVID. But from that, me being 22 to me being around 29, 28, I was just a student the entire time. People work at restaurants and they hate their jobs and they're always complaining. I'm treating it like an internship. I'm here to learn everything that I need to learn.
You need to mentor. We need to get some kids.
I love to mentor. I love to teach, and that's actually one of my goals is to be able to show people, okay, you don't necessarily have to come from this particular background to be able to be a great chef. As long as you have the discipline, the passion to do it, anybody can do it. You just have to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, I was treating it like an internship. You know, I come to work, I'm always learning. And shout out to one of my old managers, Eli. One of the things that he always would tell us is just to pay attention to the details. He was just one of those meticulous managers. Nobody liked him because he was just so anal about everything.
Nitpick,
He just, pick on you about the little things. But I remember one day I was at Yard House and I walked by this piece of paper that was on the floor. And he watched me walk past that paper maybe like 4 or 5 times before he pulled me over and was like, hey, let me talk to you. I said, yes, sir. You walked by that piece of paper. And I was like, oh. He was like, just let me tell you this. Just don't be the guy that walks past the paper.
Wow.
When you see that, take the time because that goes with the guest experience. You don't realize it, but people are paying attention to the details even when you don't think they matter. Be the person that cares about the little things, and those things will make big impact.
That's awesome.
And so things like that, all types of, and some other guys on the team might have been like, man, why is he tripping? Why is he going crazy about little things? Things like that stuck with me. And so I just knew from that time, I was the guy in the corner of the restaurant writing down the things that are happening now. One day I'm going to have my own business. One day I'll be able to do this. One day I'll be able to do that, while just still understanding that where I'm at right now is not forever. I just got to learn as much as I can right now, and then when the time comes, it'll be my time.
Yeah, that's so cool because I know a lot of people feel stuck in wherever they're at. Yeah. But if you get out of that mindset and that's
it's a stepping stone
Yeah.
to somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the attention to detail is I think the key to where you're at because that's why you win so many contests because you prepare and you think about it. I was telling someone earlier, we put on the Burger Showdown every year, and you've been a contestant the last 2 years or 3 years?
Last 3 years now.
3 years,
yes,
okay. And when everyone was supposed to be there at 2:00, he was there with an entire crew at 1:15, unloading, preparing. He had every thought about this dish is going to go here, and these flowers, I brought flowers, are going to go. Everything was thought out ahead of time.
So it's a whole experience.
The details.
It is. And then to even say we did not even win that competition, and my message to that team was we have to make sure that we're still who we are, regardless of if we win or lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes we won't be able to take them all. And kudos to the winners. I think it was Crazy Katsu.
Yeah.
Chef Jessie. I know her team won as well.
Yep.
And so
Smash, I think, won something.
Smash as well. Yep. So just being able to say regardless of what happens, as long as we know that we put in our absolute best effort, there's nothing that we could have changed. There's nothing different that we could have done.
I think the thing that makes you stand out, at least for me, cuisine-wise, is you always do put together such cool, interesting flavors. Like, for example, that particular burger had braised oxtail, and anyway, the whole burger itself and the flavors and the experience, everything from, like Alan said, when you walk up and you have all of it, the visual experience, but the bite as well, so delicious. So your cuisine type is like a southern, what is it? Elevated southern cuisine.
Correct.
So does that is that part of I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say, like, for example, what you come up with those flavors, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So, and really it's a story. So with that whole theme, we did a Puerto Rican themed burger because we took a team trip to Puerto Rico this summer.
Ah, cool.
And we all bonded over the food that we were able to explore out there. And that was just such a magical moment. We said, man, we have to make this into the burger that we produce for the Burger Showdown. And so, like I'm just always trying to make a connection.
Yeah.
Like even when we're doing the paella competition, I find a way to throw in some fried chicken on there some type of way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people love it. And I don't think they necessarily love it because it's just fried chicken. It's just the way that we're telling the story is what's really making the connection with people. So that's how we do it. But yeah, we always throwing some soul in there for sure.
I love that. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Susie, why don't we stop here and take a break, and then we'll be right back with more of Kaius Austin Bay, also known as Chef Kaius. We'll be right back.
All right.
Susie, one of our biggest audience members is restaurant owners or people that are thinking about getting into restaurants. Yes. And from talking to them, the biggest issue they have in running a restaurant is their POS system.
Absolutely. It's such an important, of course, part of being a restaurant owner.
Yeah. And some of them they're just these big behemoth software companies that do so much, it just gets... San Antonio POS is who we recommend because San Antonio POS is locally owned, locally managed, and you get local service.
Absolutely. And we've heard some restaurant owners who have been in such a pickle. They've needed to get a representative out there to fix something on their POS system because it is so important, and they haven't been able to get a hold of somebody or get somebody out there. They'll tell them it's 3 days before we can get somebody out there, and that is not workable. Where with San Antonio POS, because they are local, they're there and ready to help.
They're right away. San Antonio POS uses SkyTab, which is a software that was made for the hospitality industry, and it has everything you already want. But the first thing that our friend David Dyken that owns San Antonio POS, he'll come out and he'll sit with you and find out exactly what your processes are and design it for your restaurant.
Yeah, and one of the reasons, because we are really picky about who we work with, even sponsors. We want to make sure that they are.
You're not picky. You work with me.
Yeah. I'm very picky.
All right.
But David is amazing. He has a heart like we do, as far as the restaurant owners go, where he really cares and he goes in there. He wants the restaurant to succeed.
And he's been doing this more than 30 years, so he knows what he's doing. He
knows what he's doing, exactly.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about San Antonio POS is that system is there's no hidden costs.
That's right.
So a lot of different systems, they charge for their gift cards, they charge for loyalty programs, they charge for all of those different types of things where it's all included.
Yeah, and not only that, right now they have a special. If you have a San Antonio POS put into your system, afterwards, you'll get $5,000 back. That helps to cover the cost for your training, helps to cover the costs of any downtime that you had while switching. It really is a great opportunity.
It is a great program. Exactly, yeah. So David Dyken is the individual that you want to get a hold of. He owns San Antonio POS, and as we said, amazing fella. And you can go to his website. Alan, his phone number is
210-723-6075.
Make sure you say that San Antonio Restaurants or the Flavors of Texas sent you.
That's right. And you can also go to our website, which is theFlavorsOfTexas.com. Scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see a banner that says San Antonio POS. Click on that, and it takes you right there.
Absolutely.
All right. And we are back, and this is The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. And today we have our guest is Chef Kaius from the Chef Kaius Experience. And I don't know, I guess I've known you about 3, maybe 4 years, somewhere around there. My wife Beverly was the one that first pointed you out on Facebook, and there's something about you. People are drawn to you. There's something that just speaks like there's the guy right there. That's him. And I think it's probably a God thing that you have a blessing on your life, and you get to go around, and you don't have a restaurant, but you'll come to the people's house, and so. Yeah, that's such a different experience,
yes,
and
sir.
so they've got to know you, and they've got to love you before they're going to let you into the house.
That's so interesting you say that. I was wondering the same thing. What are the challenges that you faced? When you made this decision to go into private chefing.
Challenges. I guess the first challenge was when I started. The term solopreneur. I was by myself, and just going through the steps of realizing that it's better together. Like the client's experience is elevated when there are other people that are involved, and even more so other people that are just as special, if not more special, to also be able to give them their own experience. So I always tell people, it's the Chef Kaius Experience. My name is on it, but it's the team, the dream team, I call them, that makes it like. The difference of me being by myself versus me gathering my team is a world of a difference. That's when we started winning awards. That's when, the clientele lists got bigger, things like that. It happened when I was able to build the team. So that was probably the main challenge starting off, was shifting from, I got to do it all myself, to realizing that it's actually better if I do get help from helpful individuals, or particular people, I should say. So
yeah. Do you remember the first time you were ever your first job where you're cooking for somebody? Yeah. How terrifying was that?
This was actually during COVID. I had the opportunity to prepare an anniversary dinner for a couple. They had found me on Facebook, and this was like my first job, and I undercharged them by hundreds of dollars, but I just really wanted the job.
Yeah.
And I knew that once I got this job, and I showcased all the clips and the videos and whatnot, this was going to be a game changer. And that's exactly what it was. So I'm always nervous. Like even now, I'm still nervous for events because, and this is what my dad told me,
you care.
You care. He said when you stop being nervous, that's when you need to worry, because that's when you've lost the passion in it. So every event, even now, I go into it with the jitters because I'm just the anxiety behind it. But that first event was definitely nerve-wracking.
So from that first event, what's been your most memorable experience?
Oh man, there's too many to count. We were able to feed Laura Trump this summer. Wow. George Gervin, the Henry Flagler family, John Hope Bryant, the NBA Foundation.
How did those come about? Those huge events like that, how did they come about?
So a lot of them word of mouth.
Wow.
Like a lot of them were connections with clients. Like we got connected with Laura Trump because one of our Super Bowl client who found us at the paella competition,
so cool.
She was one of the guests at his Super Bowl party. And so she reached out from there. We do a lot of work with SACAM, which is San Antonio African American Museum and Archive, and they've gotten us all types of connections with John Hope Bryant, the NBA Foundation. We did the Wiz, just so many amazing people through that as well. And it's just, that's a lot, part of the reason why we always try to keep our standards up, because you just never know who's watching, who you're going to be able to connect with through those events. So
sure. So when you're working any event, really, event, these high profiles, but any event. So at the whole process, you help create their menu with them, find out what they want, what kind of cuisine they're looking, all of that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And then when you're ready to go, I mean, how do you handle the pressure of when especially when it's
so
yeah.
And this is what I'll tell your son too. Is the events to me, that's game day, but practice is what we do in the mornings. So I got my little cousin, my little brother staying with me right now, and every morning the first thing we do is we wake up with gratitude. We pray, then we meditate, we read some type of inspirational, motivational book, we work out, then we clean, and that's our foundation every time.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm starting to feel a little rocky, I'll put myself to the side and I'll say a prayer, Before every event that we do, me and my team, we pray. Every event, we'll grab hands. We'll kind of go over what the game plan is for the event, and we'll pray, and then we'll move forward. So a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, and that keeps me level. I'm still a nerve wrecked.
Yeah.
But those things definitely keep me at as leveled as possible.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you see this going? Like, you've got this cool thing. Is that what you want to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah, 5 years from now.
This is for sure going to move into something huge. I think it's going to be bigger than food. It's going to be bigger than me. It's going to be bigger than bigger than I can imagine right now. Just because I understand that this has the ability to inspire so many people that are like me, that might have felt like they didn't have the best chances in life, or they weren't equipped for school or whatnot, and for them to be able to see somebody like me still be able to be successful without having to do what society deems as the route. I think there are more people like that than not, and just to be able to show them that you don't have to be in an institution to be developing. If you are willing to put in the work and whatnot, you can still grow.
Well, and the work, and also, like you said, I mean, you were learning every single day.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that that's key.
Yeah, learning for sure. Like, so as long as you're willing to learn, however you have to learn, you could do it.
Yeah.
So I wanna build this into something that's motivational, inspiration. We want to build courses that would be outside of culinary school to show you how you can become how home cooks can become private chefs. Because I believe that entrepreneurship is the way to financial freedom. I don't think it's easy for people to do a 9-to-5 and actually obtain wealth. I think the easiest way is to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
There are a lot of excellent home cooks. There's so many excellent home cooks. Just like how you were saying, there are restaurants popping up every day. There can be home cooks popping up as chefs every day just as well. So, I want to show people, I want to build this into a course from start to finish, how you can, go from point A to point Z.
So did you know with the Chef Kaius Experience that you wanted to go into people's homes and cook that way?
That was just initially the easiest thing for us to do at the time. Because during
COVID.
Yeah, right. Prior to COVID, I was actually popping up, doing a lot of pop-ups. And then all the bars shut down. And then I said, well, hey, I got all this restaurant experience. Let me bring the restaurant into people's homes.
Yeah.
I knew about plating. I knew about decorations. I knew about courses. I knew about wine pairings. All the knowledge that I had from me being a server up to that point led me to be able to bring this restaurant experience into people's homes. So it just kind of happened that way. And I realized, man, I don't have overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
this is really nice.
Yeah.
So, just kind of growing into that. But, yeah.
We had Chef Jason Dady on the show.
Okay.
He sat right where you're sitting.
Yeah.
And we talked about his early days, and he did a lot of home cooking. And one of the things he would do every time, he would start going through their cabinets and pulling out stuff and making something out of what they had in their cabinet. It was part of the experience.
Nice.
And he said after a while, he said it was a blast at first, and then people got wise to it and started talking to each other, and he'd see stuff like, he knows they went out and bought that because they knew he was going to try to pull that.
Didn't become fed anyway,
Yeah.
Funny.
So you ever try anything, like have you tried to make something? It's like, oh, this just didn't work out. And you've got this customer sitting there and, have you had any bad experiences?
Oh, man, there's so many bad experiences.
That's all learning too.
We've had so many, we call it Hail Mary. Like my team called me Aaron Rodgers, the amount of Hail Marys that I get to pull off so often. I mean, for us, it's not an event unless there is a Hail Mary that needs to be thrown.
Okay.
So I mean, tons of stories like that. I gotta tell you.
So if there was anybody in the world that you could cook for, who would you love to experience that?
Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Jay-Z,
cool.
yes.
Okay, Jay-Z, if you're watching.
Yes, Jigga Man.
Yeah, he watches all our videos.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah, this one is going to be the
right.
one though for him. But yeah.
And so, have you cooked for your dad?
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's good.
Yeah, cook for my mom, cook for my family. They actually, I'm cooking for my family here in San Antonio for Christmas, as often as they want it. Whenever I'm home, I'm for sure putting something together for them. So
yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
I love cooking for my family.
When you're home by yourself, or you just you and your family that's at home, what do you like to cook? What's your favorite thing just for yourself? What do you like to cook?
So y'all probably can't tell, but I'm 30 pounds down from the whole year. So right now I'm on a health kick. So I'm actually doing the Daniel fast right now, which is like vegan, no processed food, just
Vegan.
all raw.
How hard is that?
It's not that hard actually.
Really?
I cooked for Chris Paul all preseason last year, and he was vegan at that point.
Okay.
So I learned a lot of things. And for me, like, it doesn't matter what you cook. If you cook it well, it's good.
True.
So, we call it a cowboy diet. We're just eating whatever's around. We'll eat an avocado, eat a apple, and people are, they're like, man, that's how you eat at home? I'm like, yeah, that's really how I eat at home. We cook for people who are celebrating special occasions.
Yeah.
So they're indulging, So I'm cooking a lot of indulgent, decadent food and whatnot. I can't eat that every day.
Yeah.
So, when I'm at home, I like to eat fresh, clean, get my water intake, things like that. Because, otherwise, this game is very intense, being a chef. The hours that you have to work, sometimes you're getting 2 hours of sleep before working 18-hour jobs and things like that. If my body is not up to par, then I can't perform at my highest level. So like I said, what we do in the mornings, how I do my day-to-day, that's my practice.
Right.
So that when we show up to the game, I'm
You're
mentally
ready.
and physically ready to show up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's good.
So something I wanted to ask, and I kind of maybe we did cover this. I don't think we did. The experience part of it. When did you add that on? I'm Chef Kaius. I'm going to come to your home and cook. When did you say, oh, I'm going to make it the experience and make it part of the name of your business?
I think that it just kind of felt like that, Alan, to be honest. It literally just came out of my mouth. And I realized, I want to be able to give people more than just good food. I feel like you can get good food anywhere.
Yeah.
San Antonio is the 9th largest city in the United States, and we've been named the food capital at times. It's easy. What can I do that makes me different from somebody else?
Yeah.
I can only give you my experience, my interpretation of food, my style. That's what makes me special. In a world where things are oversaturated, I have to be different, and that's what the whole experience became about. What is my style? What is my interpretation of this event that I can deliver that will, blow your minds,
Right.
like make it. And like I said too, I'm an artist at heart. I wanted to be a musician. I was a better chef than I was a musician. But I love
But it's
creating.
all creating.
You
Yeah, I
know,
was
I
gonna say
love
it's all
creating. Like I love the art. That's really what I am, an artist.
Yeah.
So to be able to combine food with our setup, with our style, it just makes it a whole experience.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
like you said, I mean, you know how to plate. You know
Yeah.
how to make the room look pretty. All the little details.
All the details, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you see a brick and mortar in your future?
We could talk about it, any investors out there, want to do something cool, but yeah, I keep hearing about it to the point where you eventually kind of got to give in to what the people are asking, and so many people.
What kind of
want
restaurant
that.
would it be?
It would be I would call it Sunday service, and it will every day will feel like Sunday dinner.
Wow.
We
Cool.
would do a lot of family style meals to where you'll be at a table with a bunch of strangers and conversation pieces will be happening and just kind of like just a whole vibe, like kind of like a bohemian style look with like just neo soul music playing in the background, jazz, just an area where people can escape and feel good, feel welcome, feel loved, and hopefully get rid of any bad energy that you're dealing with that day. I just kind of want it to be like an oasis, a place for people to escape. But
So I had a friend that was thinking about something similar, and he even wanted people to turn their phones in.
yeah,
You can't have your phone at the table.
Exactly. Yeah. Just disconnect from the world and just sit at the table and enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
That'd
There's
be what
such
it
food brings people together, and like nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah, and that's the beauty. The people that we've been able to meet, I would have never met them if food wasn't involved.
Right.
Like you guys, if I wasn't a chef, this would not be an interaction.
Yeah.
So it's been a blessing to see what food can really do and the connections people can make just from eating good food. You know, it's awesome.
So just a business wise, like if somebody wanted to hire you, so is there a minimum as far as like how many guests need to be at a? No,
we're still doing dinners for two.
I love it. Okay, good to know.
We're also hustlers now, so if people are calling, we're answering the phone.
Very cool.
So whatever type of service that we can deliver, you know, we'll be honored to do so. So
wow, that's amazing.
We're not turning anything
down. So
guys,
listen, hear that, because the way that you're growing, that's not going to be a possible event. So you better get him now.
Yeah. So hopefully Matt's listening right now, who does all our editing and everything. We'll put the number. How would they contact you if they're interested in having you come to their to do service for them?
Yeah, so the website is the chefkaiusexperience.com. And then my telephone number is on the
Kaius,
website.
how do you spell Kaius?
It's Kaius.
Okay.
So chefkaiusexperience.com. We have an inquiry form on there. We have our menus on there, all the services that we offer. You got videos, video footage too that people can look at to see our work. All that is on the website for them. So
just one last question. There's just something I thought about as you were talking. So I'm sure you've been in every single kind of kitchen you can imagine. So what have you been in kitchens that don't have all the things that you need, and you have to really like versus, I mean, I'm sure you've been in some pretty extraordinary kitchens as well.
So the beauty, yes, absolutely. First off, but the beauty in my upbringing is my mom always taught us to make do with what we have. So because of that, sometimes my team, they get frustrated with me because I will make it work by any means necessary. Even if, you know, they would prefer to have all the right equipment. Yeah. But we've cooked without kitchens. We've had to build kitchens outside. We've cooked in studio apartments. We've cooked in very small spaces and made it work. Yeah. So, you know, one of my old chefs used to call me Willy Wonka because I would just make all types of magic happen. So,
hey, you know what? I think that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Wow. Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Good.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, really excited. I'm excited for people to hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure being with you, Alan and Susie.
Thank you.
This is a great honor of mine, so thank you for having me.
And for us as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Susie, we will be we'll be back again next week.
We will, and we'll have another amazing guest.
Yes, we will. Yeah. Absolutely. So be sure and tell your friends about this podcast. Let them know. It's the more you know, the better it tastes.
Yes, and seriously, I mean, look at the amazing talent we have in our city.
Oh,
you know, so I mean,
it's incredible.
Yeah, so make sure.
It's the reason I'm fat.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a tough business to be in, but somebody has to do it, right, Alan? So anyway, so you know, so take advantage of the amazing local chefs that we have here, and reach out to Chef Kaius.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, well, Kaius, have a good day. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You do the same. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you again next week. Bye.